Everybody good?
Oh,
Okay.
he said 1 second.
Yeah, he said 1 second. Okay. You're good to go. Good to go. All right. Everybody ready?
Yep.
Okay. My name is Wayne Scott. I'm Chief of Police for the City of Greensboro. As you can see from this congested scene behind us, we had a critical incident just a few hours ago, and I want to tell you a little bit about what happened. At about 3:30 p.m. this afternoon, our traffic safety unit was engaged in a traffic enforcement campaign on I-85, something that unit does on a regular basis. That's actually what they're tasked with doing. They had an individual driving a gray pickup truck come through their speed enforcement zone at a high rate of speed. The officers followed normal protocol and attempted to catch up to the vehicle to stop it to deal with the speeding issue. The first vehicle that was assigned got in behind the vehicle. The car it did not heed the blue lights. Instead, drove in a very erratic manner. Actually sped up somewhat. It looks like it left the roadway at least twice, so actually almost two crash incidents, and then came to rest just a short distance here behind us on 85 northbound approaching Randleman Road. By this time, a second officer had been assigned. The first officer was immediately behind the pickup truck. The officer left his vehicle, ran into the median area where the truck had came to rest after the crash. The driver brandished a handgun, we believe, and exchanged gunfire with the officer. It's early in the investigation, but that's what the facts look like. The officer was able to return fire and struck the suspect more than once. The second officer had arrived by this point in time. They were able to disarm the suspect, bring him into custody, and begin to administer first aid as you would expect us to do. The officers called immediately for a EMS unit to respond. EMS responded to the scene and transported our suspect driver to a local medical facility where he is listed as serious but stable condition at this time. The officers were also transported for evaluation to a local medical facility. That's standard protocol for us, and they are doing okay at this point in time as well. As we do with any protocol, we will be putting both officers that were close in proximity on administrative leave while we begin to investigate this scene. We will be utilizing our Criminal Investigation Division of the Greensboro Police Department. Our crash reconstruction team will be looking at the actual vehicle crash, and we'll be able to answer some of the questions that we have in the future. So that's what we have preliminarily, and I'll be happy to take a few questions.
Were the officers hit?
No, the officers were not struck by any gunfire.
So, I mean, why take them to the medical facility?
So we actually began that protocol of any officer involved in a critical incident because of the physiological things that happen when you're involved in this. Just a lot of things happen, spike in blood pressure, adrenaline dump, all those things, as well as we have a protocol where we do screening of the officers for future court references as to what was in their system, that kind of stuff. So we do it for every critical incident.
Chief, can you go back to the actual crash? The crash was between the suspect's vehicle and just a regular citizen on the road? So
it was, the best we could tell at this point, there were no other cars involved other than the suspect vehicle. It appears as though when the initial police vehicle got behind them, they began to drive more erratically, a little bit more careless and reckless. They left the roadway to one side and then overcorrected, striking the grass in some of the heel area, and then eventually coming to rest and striking more or less some of the terrain. We have not found any other vehicles that have been involved at this point. That's something we'll be asking the questions and as we reconstruct it to make sure we're not missing anything from that.
The suspect's vehicle, was it a truck? Can you describe the color, the model?
It was a gray pickup truck. I know that much. Without a state plates. I don't have any more details on that.
Did the truck have any bullet holes in it? Because we could see from our vantage point a little bit that there were some shots fired in the window.
So at this point in time, that's part of our investigative process as to what caused what damage where. We do know the vehicle was involved in it. Honestly, two crashes prior to that. It left the roadway, so it's a matter of us determining what was caused by a crash, what was caused by the final crash, what was caused by the actual critical incident.
So the crash is the suspect's car starts driving erratically, then he hits, I guess, the wall or the ditch area and lands there.
Right, and that's what we're trying to figure out. That's one of the reasons we have traffic backed up so far. We're trying to piece all that together, there was debris from the suspect vehicle several hundred foot back from where it actually came to rest. So it obviously had more than one collision as the officers were behind it.
The collision was with other cars.
No, it does not appear to be with other cars.
Okay.
It appears as though the individual lost control of the vehicle just running off the road. Okay? Other questions? I like it.
All right.
Okay, thank you very much. We'll be putting out a press release that's going to solidify a lot of what I just said, and then of course we'll be updating as we can in time.
And is the suspect in custody? I know you said he's at the hospital getting treated.
Yes.
Then will they be taken to the...
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.